Welcome and happy Easter. Good day, Sister Jeannie and CJ and Rosemarie. I know who you are. Yes, thank you very much for that, honey. I say honey because that's my daughter. She's my daughter. And for those of you who aren't familiar, I am an Eastern Rite Catholic priest, and so marriage is allowed, and I have a large family. And many of them are here with us today, and so you may hear little children noises, and that's a good thing. Let's get started. I want to talk about the virtues today. I think that's one of the most important things that we need to have in our society. And I actually did a little bit of preparation today, so I have some notes. Welcome also to any new subscribers, and we've had a bunch of them in the last month, and I'm very thankful, and hopefully it's the message that we have here at OurLadyIsGod.com is resonating with others. Because through discernment, you can understand what we're all learning over the centuries that has been lost. Thank you, Lucy, the Stevenson family, and Lucy in particular for her donation. Stevens. And I just want to also mention that these are trying times. There's been a lot of news lately about things that are out of our control. And it is as a result of us not, as a whole, as a nation, as a family, as a world, praying the Rosary 150 enough and as instructed per Fatima. And as a result of us falling away, as many of you are aware, the quote-unquote Catholic Church as an institution isn't Catholic anymore. Okay, they've changed so many of the basics from the original Catholic Church and Mass, and we're here trying to reinstitute that and again preserve what Our Lady, God Our Lady, had said at Fatima in Portugal. At some point, maybe we will be the ones there, or not, maybe our offspring. The results of which, by the Catholic institutional church not being Catholic anymore, the results are devastating. Over the next few weeks and months, there's there's like a culmination of things that are coming together that really a lot of evil people are trying to put in place. In particular, we've noticed, and I've read stories about what they're trying to do in Jerusalem with the temple, with the Jews trying to basically the Bible isn't a prophetic book, okay? It is a script that they are following, okay, to make it happen, okay? And we as Catholics do not adhere to the Bible because it has been changed and it is not trustworthy. Okay, so we must prepare our souls in the very near future, as of like right now, for sacrifices and, okay, to offer them up for others, because there's going to be, tremendous suffering, especially if they propose to do a banking collapse or changeover. There is going to be a lot of suffering. And we know that this system is on its last legs. Okay, so now more than ever, we have to practice the Catholic virtues. So let's say our prayers, and I will then go and talk about and list the virtues. If you can, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil handy, please jot them down, the virtues, and put them on your refrigerator or somewhere where you can see them all the time as a reminder. This is how we attain the transforming union. This is what Catholicism is. Okay. The blue book. And my prayer book is missing, but that's okay. In nomine Dei, amationem nostri et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. My son Benedict likes to lift things from me. We'll go right into the virtues, which I have right here handy anyway. Okay, the Catholic virtues are something that isn't taught anymore, and there's a reason for that. Again, it's because the world has been taken over by satanic influence. So we all think we have virtues, but so many people can't name more than a few of them. In the Catholic Church, there are three very distinct categories of virtues, which we all should be praying to have more of. The first category is known as the cardinal virtues. The second is known as the theological virtues. And the third is the capital virtues. The capital virtues are four moral virtues that are the foundation for others. Cardinal comes from the Latin cardo, which means hinge. The cardinal virtues can all be acquired through practice and by observing others who are older and wiser than you are. Other virtues hinge on the following four cardinal virtues. And I'm just want to make a point that that's another lost practice in society is looking to the older and wiser, because over the years, television and the internet and the powers that control the media want the children to disrespect their elders, so that they aren't taught these gems like virtues. It all comes down to the competition for souls that Satan looks for. Prudence. St. Thomas Aquinas once said that prudence was the primary cardinal virtue because it is concerned with the intellect. Prudence is basically the ability to distinguish what is good and bad in any given situation and to take appropriate action. They gave an example here that I printed this off from a Catholic website, and I have to read everything that I use because it's sometimes not Catholic. So they gave an instance, for instance, about something about speeding on a highway, and to me that had no relevance whatsoever. And we need meat today, so I came up with for instance, if you are a talented singer and are asked to perform immoral acts in order to maintain the financial levels that your talent brings, okay, there's the time for prudence, okay, because a lot of these, and you'll see it now in the news with this three named individual who has done immoral things because he didn't have prudence. And there's many of them, and the stories are coming out in loads now. The second virtue is justice. St. Thomas Aquinas ranked justice as the second cardinal virtue because it deals with the will. Justice is the virtue that demands that we give everyone exactly what is due them. For instance, if the cashier gives you too much change back at the counter after a purchase, justice says that you must give back the extra money, if you know about it. And since justice is concerned with rights, it is very important to remember that natural rights always come before legal rights, as in the right to life of babies. And I also want to mention that most people don't even think of because they're so programmed is the right to travel. Okay, that is a natural right. That is not a legal right. Okay, so I want any policemen who might be listening to take notice, okay, that just because somebody makes a law, if it usurps the natural right, it is no law. And we will get back to that with the Catholic monarchy. Fortitude. Another word for fortitude is courage. In the Catholic sense, fortitude is the virtue that allows us to overcome our fears and continue in our Catholic tasks. For instance, the apostles before Pentecost were hiding in fear of the Jews. After Pentecost, they boldly spoke out and were imprisoned for their outspoken beliefs in Deum Jesum Christum. So here we see that fortitude is not only an acquired virtue, but is also one of the four cardinal virtues that Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum can give us as well. Another example would be not wearing masks because of a lie. Okay, that's fortitude. That's fortuitous. Having the courage. Temperance. This virtue is one we all could use more of today. Temperance is concerned with the restraint and moderation of our desires for food, sex, pleasure, and drink. Where prudence dictates our actions based on externals, temperance dictates our actions based on internals. There's nothing wrong with procreational sex in marriage, or eating food, or enjoying legitimate pleasure or drink, of course. But when they start to own our will instead of our will owning them, then we will experience the devil's compensation. And many of you who have realized your mistake in temperance early in life understand what the devil's compensation is. The theological virtues. So we finished the cardinals, now we're on the theologicals. There's three, and the three theological virtues can only be acquired as a free gift from God. Okay, this is very important. God pours these virtues into our very being because through sanctifying grace, which we all know is obtained through the seven sacraments and through prayer and contemplation, They are also called supernatural virtues. And I'm going to put there's the three ways that we can know that was mentioned just now in order, because the sacraments are first, contemplation is second, and prayer is third. They are also called supernatural virtues. They are as follows. Faith. Faith, the theological virtue that is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, our firm belief in the Trinitarian Theophany, and all revealed to us through the original Holy Catholic Church. Faith is an intellectual virtue, and if we are true to ourselves, we will know that the Trinitarian Theophany is infallible and cannot be deceived, nor can the Trinitarian Theophany deceive us. We then know that the Trinitarian Theophany has revealed all truth that the Catholic Church has revealed, and we will not deviate from the Trinitarian Theophany's teachings on faith and salvation. Faith manifests itself in how we handle our day-to-day lives, how we treat others, and in our Catholic devotions. It is written on our hearts, and all of our actions are the result of our faith. One of the ways we know that we have true faith is if we are very afraid of offending the Trinitarian Theophany in anything, and are very anxious to please the Trinitarian Theophany in everything. Hope, the theological virtue that allows us to totally trust in Deum Jesum Christum and to desire eternal bliss in heaven with God forever. Hope is a virtue of the will and helps us to keep going in the face of adversity, mockery, and dry times, as in prayer and contemplation. When you're not necessarily receiving what I call the pablum from the Trinitarian Theophany, that grace of infusion that you feel, and it's like a euphoric thing, that those times can be extended and become dry, and we know we have to have hope that we can see it through. We know how it will all come out in the end, and it always helps us to ask ourselves in this question: where will I hope to be in 100 years? And when we answer with heaven, everything else seems rather small and insignificant, especially when we contemplate on the Passion and what Deum Jesum Christum went through. Third is charity, the theological virtue of love or charity for the Trinitarian Theophany over all other things for their sake, and our love and charity of neighbor as ourselves. Love/charity is the greatest of the three theological virtues. Deum Jesum Christum left us 2 commandments, not 10. The 10 commandments are Jewish. They are not Catholic. Deum Jesum Christum left us 2 commandments: to love the Trinitarian Theophany with everything we have, and our neighbor as ourselves. And if we do these 2 things, then charity toward everyone, even our enemies, becomes second nature to our wills. The capital virtues. Now I'm just going to read through them because I don't want to take too long here today. I want you all to get to your family and enjoy your brunch. The 7 capital virtues are the virtues which overcome the deadly sins of lust, greed, gluttony, envy, anger, pride, and sloth. Most other sins, like murder, for instance, begin with 1 or 2 of the 7 deadly sins. And once we let one of these sins take over our lives, the other 6 are only too happy to creep into our lives as well. By praying to obtain all 7 of the capital virtues, we can put a stop to Satan and his plan to destroy our lives. The 7 capital virtues are: chastity overcomes the sin of lust or the vice. Generosity overcomes the sin or vice of greed. Temperance overcomes the sin or vice of gluttony. Brotherly love overcomes the sin or vice of envy. Meekness overcomes the sin or vice, and the print cut off there, of anger. There it is, okay. Humility overcomes the sin or vice of pride. And as far as I'm concerned, humility should be way up there in your priorities for virtues. Diligence overcomes the sin of sloth. So let us today be the day that we start praying to acquire all the virtues in abundance and to lose all the vices which we have in our life. The reward for acquiring all the virtues is out of this world. Anybody have their traditional act of contrition paper with them? Okay. Can you get that? I want to thank CW for coming up with the traditional Catholic act of contrition. And, that's the Ave. And we're going to, I want to read it just so that everybody can hear it. And I'm going to make that available if you need a copy of it. You'll get the idea once we read it, if you can find it. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so if you all want to join me in saying this as best you know it for now, but you'll hear it. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offended thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve with the help of thy grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Let us begin Mass. And again, thank you for your donations to enable us to have these beautiful flowers on the altar today. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote. Oremus. O God, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain, by loving prayers, the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. Suscipe, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Hanc Immaculatum Hostium, quam ego indinius famulos tuus offedi tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro enim individibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, e promnibus circumstantibus sere promnibus fidelibus, catalocorum vivis aquae defunctis, ut mihi edidis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilitu condidisi et mirabilitus reformasti da nobis spiritus sacra fide mysterium eis divinitatis esse consortis qui militatis nostrae, fieri nautis est patriceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum da peccatis clementium, ut in consuetu divinae majestatis tuae, pro nostra et totius mundus salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in anima contritus suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum, et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum et expetu tu hodie, uplatia tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni Sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificita plata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini preparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas, hanc oblationem quam tibi efferimus, a memoriam passiones, resurrectionis et ascensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honoram Deum matronam nostrae et Papa Pete Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem, nobis autem et salutem et idi pro nobis intercedere dinter in celis, quorum amorem agimus in te speri in Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meam ec vestum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nomini sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, sursum corda, habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te et tuto clementes me mater et pater, et Deum matronum nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplicis rogamus ac petimus, uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, ex sanctam sacrificium medibata. In primis quae tibi efferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodiri adonare, et regere dignidis tot orbite rarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie, Gage, Neil and Earl Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mark Jr., Ann Boltink, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Line Weber family, John Cahill, the Dosco, Nye, Tafur, Began and Wolf families, and baby Began. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, human trafficking of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy and a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium exchange, with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and to put faith ahead of funds. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity, that we provide for them the funds and for their family so that they may cease working for Freemasons and corporations everywhere for all time, and that they come to understand that the raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society, or any society. We ask that all pornography and the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately and forever. And we ask, Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, with this Mass, to destroy the satanic document of the Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal, and to release the souls controlled by the demon Lilith and the families who are under the control of the demon Asmodeus, and send them to the bottom pits of hell. All these things we ask in accordance with God's holy and divine will. The Trinitarian Theophany's divine holy will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi efferimus veruque tibi offerunt hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi quid redunt vota sua eterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memorum venerantes, in primis gloriose, semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancta Petri, et Sancta Lucia, et Sancta Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancta Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis praecibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae muniamur auxilio, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabilum quae fagedi dignidis ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat delictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit, dedique lumis sudicens, accipite, et bibite ex eo omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simene modo post cum ceremoniae accipiens et hoc preclarum calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecrave dedique lumis sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum. Et quod est cum faceritis in me non facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed et plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum, Deum nostre, tam beate passiones nec non et ab infelis resurrectionis, sed et in celos gloriose ascensionis, offerimus preclare maiestati tudi tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio auxerendo vulture speciali digneris. Supplices te regamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iube hic pefere per manus tuum, ut quod, ex hoc autoris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione celesti et gratia Dei per amor, per innum Christum Deum Nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Lynette Wagner, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum crescentibum locum refugere et lucis et pacis ut non gesta plac amor per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Per quem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis et prestas nobis. per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Patrum omnipotente in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Deum, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Deum matronam nostrae, matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, abondibus malis, praeteritis presentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dei matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in Deibus nostris. Ut opi misericordiae Tue aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbationis secoli. Periendum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivet et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud Te. Ecce mixtio consecratio copris et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum fiat accipendibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud Te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, qua pronde Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem Tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacrosanctum corpus et sanguinum Tuum abandonibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me Tui semper inharare mandatis, et aetinum quam separare permittas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et reinam aeternam. Perceptio copris Tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego in inius sumere presumo non mihi proveniat in judicium condonationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi et tutum medis copris, et ad medelam percipiendam, qui vivis et reinas cum Deum matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem, in nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sum dignius, ut subtetum est in tanto robis operanima meam. Deum Iesum Christum non sum dignius, ut subtetum est in tanto robis operanima meam. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignius, ut subtetum est in tanto robis operanima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quaeretur mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem in nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. codori, somsimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capriamus et immunum tempore fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quos somse sanguis competore herere cerbus meis apresta, ut in me non remeniat celera macula quem pura sancta reficerat sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, quoque apotei. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O God, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, quoque apotei, ite mises. Deum gratia. Gratia tibi, sancta Trinitam, obsequem servitutis mea, preso ut sacrificium coroculis tui majestatis in unus obteritivis et tatarum et omnibus, pro quibus irut obtolicit miserante propitiare per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam nostri et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. What we'll do, since I didn't find my little booklet, my prayer booklet, we'll say an Ave as a final prayer. I know. Ave Deum Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea Matronam Nostrae, Matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you all for coming and for participating in Easter Mass 2024. And it is March 31st. I usually say that in the beginning. And please have a holy day with your families. And please give them all a hug for me. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. And we'll continue with Holy Week, Easter week. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet today. Have a great day.